Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino, and this is my newest segment of Markets Look Ahead. It is Sunday, February 28th, 2021. Lots of things in motion right now. But what is this going to come down to this week? You know already. This is all about the debt market. And again, I want to cover a lot of things with you. Right now, the 10-year yield stands at 1.41. We hit 1.60 just the other day. We watched this stock market fall nearly 1,000 points in 2 trading days, like I have covered for the longest time. This market does not like a rapidly rising rate/yield environment. In the same way, suppressed rates and suppressed yields have inflated massive bubbles in the stock market and in the housing market. Just the reverse will happen, but to a much greater degree, to the downside if this really gets out of control. Why? Fear and greed are the two elements that run the market. Fear is stronger. Okay, so if, let's say, the 10-year yield were to get out of control, which it will at one point, and trust me, this will be by design, no accident whatsoever, you're going to see a stampede out the door in the stock market and real estate that you will not believe. And it's all being set up. Why do you think, for example, the Federal Reserve has suppressed rates for so long by targeting the federal funds rate? Why? To deliberately, people, inflate a stock market bubble, inflate a housing bubble, only to allow all of this to melt down at one time, to finish what they started, a wealth transfer effect on a scale and magnitude that is going to leave the world reeling, and people are going to be wiped out, devastated, all by design to create that two-tier society that we already have. I've warned about this for a decade. Well, it's in our face. So anyway, here's the deal with regard to this coming week. I would not be surprised to see the 10-year yield somewhat stabilize. Why? Why would I not be surprised to see that? You have to understand, they are desperate, at least. I don't know if that's the right word, but they are trying as hard as they can to keep the risk-on environment, that is cash going into the stock market, going. The larger they can inflate the bubble in the stock market, the greater the correction and the faster the crash and or correction, however you want to look at it, is going to occur. And more cash is made faster when markets fall than when they gain. You understand? With regard to real estate, the banks are looking to do what they did in '08. They're going to foreclose on people, take their homes, and again, at one particular time, sell these assets back onto the market and make tremendous profits as people are fleeced and destroyed. This is all about destroying what we have here. You understand? Destroying what we have to build a new system. In other words, they have to take down, which they already have for the most part, the current system, to replace it with a new one. A new set of rules, a new paradigm is coming. This is how it works. It's always the same story. And the hypnosis, the mass hypnosis, is in full play. Again, the bond market here, the narrative from the financial channels is the Fed is losing control. The Fed is losing control. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Fed wants more control, and they're going to get it via yield curve control. I've spoken about this lately. check my last couple of videos. So the Fed is not losing control of anything whatsoever. They want to make it appear that the Fed is losing control of the debt market because of the spike in bond yields, but nothing here could be further from the truth. They already floated out the suggestion for months: yield curve control, yield curve control, yield curve control. Mass hypnosis, getting you ready for it. The Fed wants to control the yield curve. They want to control everything. Now you're getting digital dollar, digital dollar, digital dollar. The Fed wants a digital dollar, more control. It's all about control. Why do you think you're locked up in your house right now? Why do you think they're selling you this vaccine right now? Why do you think they're forcing you to wear a mask across your face? They want to see how far they can push society. And that's what they're doing right now. It's all about control. Because again, this environment we're in is completely fake. Okay, nothing is what it seems. And this is going to shift dramatically to a whole new paradigm. So they want to control that mechanism. They want to be able to enforce whatever they come up with on people when this whole thing changes, and is going to change extremely rapidly at one point. But in my view, right now, they're not done inflating the stock market. They are not done inflating real estate, housing. The greater they can inflate that bubble, all right, and I think they're going to inflate it even further because the Fed's balance sheet is going to balloon and it's already hyper ballooning. On Friday, I did a video where I told you, go have a look at the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. Do it right now. Open up a new window and whatever platform you're using, and just Google Federal Reserve balance sheet. It's gone hyper parabolic. This is by design. My nose is itchy again. Wow. And that mechanism is not going to stop. The larger the Federal Reserve can inflate its balance sheet, the more power they get. They want every bit of power that they can possibly get. The more debt any central bank issues, the stronger they become, not the weaker. You remember how that fake narrative was floated out during the Trump administration? People were being sold a lie. They were being told President Trump is bankrupting the Fed. He's allowing them to inflate, and people bought it. What they didn't know is they were being sold a lie. Okay, the truth is, more debt makes a central bank exponentially more powerful, not just incrementally, exponentially more powerful. It's very sad. I tried to explain this to people, again, during that time. They didn't buy it because I don't know where they were hearing this from, Q or whatever it might be. It's a psyop, okay, trying to get people to think, oh, we're going to bankrupt the Fed. Can't be done. The more debt they issue, debt is their only product, period. If you sold toothbrushes for a living, the more toothbrushes you sell, the more power you would gain. It's the same thing for a central bank. When they're called on to issue more debt, right now, more stimulus, trillions of dollars, they get more powerful. More powerful. I explained to you why Biden was chosen, okay, for this particular cycle. Again, he's going to make central banks, the Federal Reserve, even more powerful than Trump made it. Much more powerful. Why? Because every dollar the Federal Reserve is allowed to create out of thin air makes them exponentially more powerful, not incrementally. You understand? So, with that said, people, I believe there's the strong possibility, at least, that you're going to see this week the yield curve stabilize. If it does not stabilize, and we see that 10-year yield rise, it's gonna hit the stock market yet again. All right. We also have to keep our eye on the dollar. A big move, stronger, the dollar on Friday. Okay. All right. We know how this works here. Dollars, okay, are also units of debt. These are not units of wealth. When you think of the dollar, you have to put it into perspective. These are units of debt. You don't even own them. They're owned here by the Federal Reserve, and they're owed back to the Federal Reserve, plus interest that they create out of thin air. It's It's the biggest Ponzi in the history of the world. But this is how they are gaining control. Now, I sincerely do believe we will get a massive spike in the debt market, the 10-year yield, solely at one point to, again, allow them to gain more control of the yield curve. They want to issue yield curve control. Look at the wording, yield curve control. All about control. Digital dollar. All about control. They want to monitor everything we do, every fraction of a transaction. They're going to know everything that's going on here. And they're going to try to sell this to you. They're going to sell yield curve control to you because the bond market will at one point get out of control by design. They're allowing it to happen. All right. And then they're going to say, okay, it's time to issue in that yield curve control that we've been hypnotizing you with for a while. You've heard about it. You keep hearing about it. You keep hearing about it. Here we go. Now they're going to do the same thing with the dollar. Raise your own awareness, people. They're going to sell this to you as a good thing. We need to do this because, I don't know, they'll make up some story for whatever reason why they have to issue in the digital dollar. They could easily create a crisis of the currency, which we already have. You're not supposed to know that we are in a currency/debt crisis right now. Why do you think the Federal Reserve is inflating their balance sheet to the point of no return? Because there is no point of return. Have a look at it. If they were not doing it right now, if the Federal Reserve were not vastly inflating its balance sheet, number one, it would lose power. The Federal Reserve will not allow itself to lose power. So it will continue to inflate its balance sheet. So when you hear talk, let's say from the financial channels of the mainstream media, oh, the Federal Reserve is going to cut back on whatever it's doing. Bullshit. They're going to do it more, okay? It's a psyop. They're trying to pull you in one direction, then pull you back. You have to understand what they're doing to you. Like I have explained for a very long time, they want to make you a pawn in a very dangerous game for which you're going to lose, unless, of course, you get yourself on the right side of this. But pandemonium is the end result. Absolute chaos, so they can issue in a new system. You understand? They're going to break down the current system to bring in a new system, a new set of rules, a new paradigm, and everything you're seeing now from the scamdemic, coronavirus, masks on your face, being locked up in your house, no free thought. You cannot think for yourself. Remember that. There's no free thought, no free action, and no free movement. This is the key. This is how they win. You understand? Our forefathers warned about this, okay? No free anything, all right? Anything with a free associated with it will be attacked by design. And they're going to convince people that anything with a free in front of it is bad. You got it? That's what they do. This is how they allow their agenda to unfold. People, this is the new world order. One world government. That's what we have today. It's the central banks working in concert around the world. Presidents, kings, queens, monarchs don't matter. They don't do anything. They are a figurehead. They are a spokesperson enforcing the agenda of the central banks. You understand? I hope you do, at least at this particular time. All right, look, people, I think I put a good perspective on this for you. Bitcoin right now under some pressure, like 43,000 and change. Okay, no surprise to you. It's consolidating. I told you about this. If they do maintain a risk-on environment, let's say moving into this week, what would you expect happen? You would probably see metals fall under pressure, which is a buying opportunity because, again, the central bank's number one goal, and again, go look at their balance sheet. Google Federal Reserve balance sheet, search engine, whatever you use, and look at the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. Hyper-parabolic. They're going to continue to inflate. You take the opposite side of that trade by holding a unit of wealth, physical gold, physical silver. Let them play their game. They want to suppress the price? Beautiful. Let them do that. That presents opportunity for us. You understand? Look, I got you covered. Every angle, I got you covered. You know that. If you pay attention to what I'm saying here and understand what I'm saying here, you will be so far ahead of the curve. It's unbelievable. And everything I've explained to you, what happened over the past, I don't know, decade, is happening right now. And I can promise you, it's going to get worse by design. So get yourself in the right spots. Understand what they're doing. They're wrecking the current situation, building a new one, creating a slave society, a dependent society, okay, dependent on government. And the government is the central banks. You understand? That's what they want. This is what they're doing. It's all about control. Period. I'm out of here. This guy loves you a lot. Please share the video. I'll see you in the morning. And tomorrow, I will be on the Alex Jones show. I'll keep you on top of that too. That's going to be a great show. See you then. I'm out of here.